I was asked a number of times about how many EVs I have seen here in Mexico, in Monterey City. So I figured today we would do something a little bit different. We would take a look at where the EVs are. We're going to play a game called Spot the EVs. No intro music from me this week, no exciting 100 different citations, just a 10-minute scene of a busy intersection with cars going by constantly. So, with that said, I want you to watch, see if you can find an EV. If you can, put a timestamp on the comments, just 01 colon, 26 or whatever the minutes and seconds are. So we'll do it that way. Now, while you're busy counting cars, I found 8 reasons why EV adoption is low in Mexico. And I went through a lot of articles. I talked to a lot of people to try and find some answers to it. And it's proven a bit difficult, but here's what we found. The first one is that home charging is rare. Not a lot of people have the ability to add a 220 plug-in at home for fast charging, for overnight level 2 charging. It's not even fast, it's just quick. It's a lot of people live in apartments or live in older buildings, and even people who live in newer buildings like the one I'm staying in. This is brand new. This building is maybe 2 years old. It has 5 floors of parking, no EV charging access at all. So if you're not going to charge it at home, what are you going to do? The second is that even if you have a home, a garage, a carport, someplace you can park off street where you can charge, it doesn't mean that you can actually afford to put in the charger. Putting in home charging can be quite expensive, and it is not something that's necessarily easy to do. So then, with those 2 things in mind, what are we doing here? Now, the power rates are pretty good. Home charging is at something like 9 cents a kilowatt hour, at least in the Nuevo Leon area. In other parts of the country, there's a different problem, and that is that if you go over about 280 kilowatts a month, you go into peak pricing. You go into high user pricing, which can be higher, which can be as much as 28 cents. Now in Nuevo Leon, their high use pricing is 16 cents a kilowatt hour, which is quite good. So they don't have, it'd be 6 to 8 pesos? No. That's a different thing. Never mind that. So yeah, it's about 9 cents per kilowatt hour. The fourth reason is there's no subsidies. There's no buyer incentives, no city or state or nationwide federal type incentives. Gas cars compete on a level playing field with electric cars, except that, everyone knows how to fix a gas car. In fact, this van driving by right now looks just like one I used to have. And it's a good thing everyone knows how to fix it, because you're going to have to fix it all the time. So, no subsidies. That's going to slow you down. Number 5 would be a lack of public charging. Now, if you go on the apps, you will see that there are chargers all over in Mexico City, in Monterey, in a number of the major cities. But if you zoom in on that map, you'll find a whole lot of them are destination chargers at hotels. You can't actually use that charger. You can't, you're not a hotel guest if you live here, and a lot of them are very slow charging. Maybe 12 to 18 kilowatts is not a very fast charger. So what are you going to do? Go there and hang out for 5 hours? Hope it's close enough to where you live? Now, there are public chargers, regular commercial pay for this and get juice kinds of commercial chargers, even fast chargers, even very fast chargers. But those are expensive. It was very hard to find information on how expensive, on exactly what those rates are. But I did find one. It was the first, 400 kilowatt charger in the country. And they said for the first month or 2, it is free. And then from there, we're going to charge, 6 to 8 pesos per kilowatt hour. You're like, okay, is that Is that good? That's 33 to 44 cents per kilowatt hour. That is not a savings over gas. So what you've got, when you can find a public charger, and again, there's, probably 5 or 10 in Monterey, 20 or 30 if you count all the hotels and oddball locations. At that price, it's not effective, and you've only got realistically about 10 chargers. Within blocks of where I'm staying, there are 5 gas stations. So gas, very easy to find. Juice, not so much. So what are you going to do if you can't charge it at home and you rely on those? The savings is gone. It doesn't make sense. So that's not ideal. Number 7 would be the lack of mechanics. We're talking about how anybody could fix that Pontiac Montana that just drove by, and that's true. I mean, it's not a fun car to work on, but it's quite straightforward. Because EVs are so new in Mexico, the ones that have broken to date are almost certainly all under warranty. When they're under warranty, you don't have shops. You don't need shops. That was something we saw in the US. Most Teslas ever built through 2020, 2021 were under warranty. Now, sure, those old models S and X had fallen out of warranty, but only just, and they made up a very small percentage. And as a result, through 2022, we really didn't see very many public third-party mechanics who could fix EVs. Mexico's going to face it even worse because they just got here in the last couple years, really. And even in a city like Monterey, I've seen 2 BYDs, a Seal and maybe an Atto, and I've seen maybe 7 or 8 Teslas over almost 2 weeks. So with so few cars on the road and so many of them under warranty, there are no mechanics. And that's great for a first-time purchase, but if you're thinking about the future, the question comes up, where am I going to fix these cars? And the answer is, I don't know, man. I do not know. It is very difficult. Number 8, and this is by no means a comprehensive list. If you've got more to the list, please share them below. Would be, you can't impulse buy EVs here very easily. If you want to go pick up a Volkswagen or a Chevrolet, you can go into a dealership and get one. It's that easy. But if you want to buy a Tesla, you have to order a Tesla and then wait for it to be shipped from China. And why from China? Why not from Giga Mexico, which is honestly a drive from here? Not a comfortable drive, but you could do it in a day if you wanted to. Why not get a Giga Texas built Model Y? Well, the answer is those Model Ys that are built in the US allow buyers to qualify for EV incentives. The Chinese ones do not get that benefit in the US and can't be imported to the US really unless they wish to face a 100% tariff, which nobody does. That's too much money. So the cars stay in the US so more buyers can get the credit, and the cars for Canada and Mexico ship from Giga Shanghai. So you can't impulse buy. And for other brands, that appears to be pretty true as well. When we went to the BYD dealership, to the Omida dealership, it wasn't a lot full of cars. They had a handful inside on display, and they had a handful outside available for test drives. Now, I should tell you, we were planning to go back and do the test drive. We were planning a second trip to Giga Nueva Leon, the site, the future site of the Tesla factory, and we were unable to go because there was, an IT problem, and all the planes could not fly. So have you seen any yet? Have you counted them? Because I'm thinking it might be about time to check it out and see how you did in the results. But I do think I feel like there's one more thing I probably will need to mention, and that's the interest rates, which are high here, just like they're high everywhere. Well, that was it. That was 10 minutes. I didn't see a whole lot. Maybe you guys did. You'll have to let me know in the comments where you saw them. There was a couple of MGs in there, but I do not think those were pure electric versions. I think those were either internal combustion or hybrid, but you can compare it on the website and find out, and let me know. If you find any EVs in there, I'll be very curious. Maybe there'll be a prize or something, who knows. So, like, subscribe, you know what you're doing, and I'll catch you on the next one.